All right, guys, we're back. It's been a minute, that's for sure. Dead men tell no tales. We might have to leave that in there. But anyways, we're back. Like I said, it's been a minute because we've been doing some racing. So obviously you can see how much room we have right now. Trying to work on the race car and the old 6x6 at the same time. Cool thing is I'm taking this to Glamis. We're gonna go out there with UTV guide and do some sand duning. Got some System 3 SS360 sand and snow tires going on this thing, and they're 32 inch. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be installing some S3 2-inch forward high clearance A-arms on this so we can clear a 32 inch tire. Cool thing is we don't have to do anything to the rear. So we'll be able to just slap those on the back and we'll be good to go there. But for the front, just so we don't rub in the firewall area or on the suspension, we got to change these out to those sweet S3 A-arms. Plus these are going to be stronger. Here they are right here, all nicely wrapped up. A couple more parts over there that we're going to be installing at some point, but we're kind of running out of time for this this quick Glamis trip. So anyways, that was nice. Anyways, that's a lower, so we're just waiting on ball joints. Those will show up tomorrow. Ordered those from Rocky Mountain ATV. I could reuse those stock ones, but I figured why not throw some new ones in there, so if we ever want to switch back, those stock ones are ready to roll. I don't think I ever will switch back. Gonna like this way too much, but yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start removing this front end. You might see some of these other yahoos running around here, like Eric and Rick there, Slick Rick. But yeah, we might be running 3 people on this thing to get this done as fast as we can. So anyways, let's get started. All right, so next part, since we got the wheels and tires off, we got to remove this cotter pin. If this is anything like our Maverick X3, this is going to be a 30 millimeter, pretty sure. I'll let you know on that, but that's usually what that is. So remove the cotter pin, remove that. Also need to remove these brake bolts, which are usually a 15 millimeter. If it's like that X3, I'm starting to realize that a lot of this stuff could possibly swap back and forth, and that's one thing that's cool about Can-Am is that I'm pretty sure, I'll double check this for the next video, but I'm pretty sure when I went to order these new what are you called? Nobody even knows. I sure don't. When I ordered these new I'm going to call them bushings right now because on the tip of my tongue, you're probably all going to yell at me and tell me what it is. Can't hear you. But when I went to order these new ball joints, there we go. I'm pretty sure they're the same part number as the Maverick X3, but I'll verify that. So if any of you Maverick X3 guys also have a Defender and you have extra OEM parts like we do, you know, this could come in handy down the road. So anyways, let's get ripping. All right, so my sneaky suspicion was right. Just like the X3, this is takes a 30 millimeter socket to get these off. Once you get that off, obviously you pull the hub. These are 15s. This next part, we're gonna remove this knuckle. So this is a 15, and that will remove that from the lower A-arm. And then I believe this nut right here, can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's like a 17 millimeter, possibly a 19. But there's also a cotter pin inside that we need to remove off of that first. And then that knuckle will be able to come out of there. Same thing with this, 15 millimeter on the shock. And then all the way up in there, where there's really crappy lighting, that's the top shock bolt, and you won't be able to use an impact like that. There's just not enough room. So something like this 3/8 ratcheting impact is going to work out perfect for back there. So anyways, looks like just a bunch of 15 millimeters even on the A-arms once we get to that point. So we can start removing things now. Probably going to have my stunt doubles, Eric and Rick, jump in, and because I got to run and go do something real quick. And then we'll be back running a time lapse with these guys. See how fast they can move for how old they are. Alright, so Eric ended up getting this all apart while I was absent. And I'm about to be absent again. So luckily these guys are here to do my dirty work. But anyways, this lower A-arm ended up just sliding right out of there. Sometimes you get super lucky like that. It's like you win the lottery. But right here, sometimes, as Eric's gonna perform, sometimes you got to use this here pickle fork, something similar. Sometimes you can get it from the top, sometimes you can get it from the bottom. He told us he needed a bigger hammer. Because what do you do when you can't get something out?
Get a bigger hammer.
A BFH. I'm not going to go ahead and say what that is. There might be kids watching, but that's, you can figure it out. But yeah, so now he's just going to finish removing that nut, and that knuckle's going to come right out of there. So then we can pull the axle and get these A-arms off.
Pliers.
Alright, I'm back from being lazy. Anyways, Eric and Rick ended up getting everything off, as you can see. Obviously, we're not going to be changing out the tie rods at this time. Another thing that we're waiting on is with this kit, we don't have it yet. Like everything right now, this whole off-road community is kind of suffering right now because COVID made all of our stuff explode as far as sales. That's why no one can find parts right now. Everybody's out having fun buying parts, buying machines, and shipping and creating the parts is now became a huge issue. So we're just waiting on S3 to get us the last piece of the puzzle for this suspension, but we're going to go ahead and keep using the standard springs because we do have some HD springs coming because we're going to be adding some weight to this thing once more parts start showing up. The ones we ordered straight from Can-Am's site. So anyways, right now these are going to go back on, and that will be a project for tomorrow because we're waiting on new bushings. But as you can see, everything's removed now, axles, all that good stuff. And then over here we got the goodness from S3. You can see the difference in how big the actual parts are, how big the material is from S3 compared to OE. This is a bottom A-arm, obviously this is the top. Like I said, these are going to be a plus 2 inches forward, so we can fit some big 32s on this sucker. Anyways, battery just decided to shut off by itself. It's got poltergeist in it. Anyways, so plus 2 forward, so we can fit those big 32s on there. So we're going to clean up this powder coating right here and inside here just so we can get the bushings in easier. I don't think this is going to be as big a deal as this, getting that cleaned up so we can easily slide that in. When those ball joints do show up, we always put them in the freezer. That makes it a lot easier when we go to press these things in on the press. But yeah, super excited about this. And then we can throw our 32-inch SS360s on there, and we're it's going to be an amazing look for it too. We got our American flag ready to roll for when we go out to Glamis with John Crowley at UTV Guide. So we're going to have a good time with this thing. Just a little bit of a time, just like what Johnny Cash said. Just keep piecing this thing together. But we'll stop for the night, wait for those bushings to show up, and continue on.
If you get this A-arm kit, we highly suggest that you have S3 install those ball joints, the factory ball joints or whatever ball joints. I think they have options, but factory's just fine. They're really good ball joints, but you may want them to do that because we had to make something so we could actually put it on the press. As you can see, we Eric took the cut off. What is this?
Modified a hole saw.
I didn't mean cut off saw. This is a modified hole saw. You can see that he took the grinder to the teeth, so that ball joint could actually slip through there and get pressed in. So, moral of the story: have S3, the experts at S3 do it, especially if you don't have a press or that redneck engineering thing that we just came up with. So, anyways. This part you could definitely do by yourself. This is the bushing kit. Like I said, I ended up ordering a new set just from Rocky Mountain ATV. Overnighted it because, you know, we do things last minute. We didn't even think about it. So anyways, they had them in stock, which is awesome. The whole kit comes with this piece, the 2 bushings, and this metal piece that goes on the outside to kind of just keep it all together. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how I'm trying to talk right now. We're keeping it all together. So that whole kit, it's nice because it comes with everything. So just gotta grease up those bushings as they go in. Did these slide in, Eric?
Yes, they just press in.
Okay, so they pressed in, super easy. You could probably even do it with a vise, right?
Yeah, it's all pretty much hand.
Okay. So yeah, this is pretty simple for anyone to do, but definitely have S3 put those bad girls in because you might be having fun unless you have a really good shop. Your buddy owns a shop. He's a redneck like us, and he can make that. All right, we're back. Another day, about ready to head out to Glamis. Last night we found out a little bit of a problem. I know these 6x6s with certain 32-inch tires will fit that big of a tire. However, even though I work at System 3 Off-Road as a wheel and tire aficionado, I totally forgot that the SS360s, with how balloon they are, you know, that high flotation 2-ply carcass, once you put some air in them, these actually measure, these 32 12-15s measure a little bit taller than a 32. It's like 32.1 or 32.2. So with that being said, and since I work there, I brought some 30s. So we're gonna put the 30 10 14s up front, and then the 30 12 14s in the rear, and should be perfect. If not, I'm gonna owe my wife another $1,000 because she said this wasn't gonna work. And that was a stupid bet. All right, good news. Get that on there. Look at that. 30 12 14s in the rear. No problem. No problem on the sway bar. We are set. 4-3 offsets in the rear. We're all good. See? So as you could tell in that time lapse, I totally whipped up on Eric. Got my side on first, I know, champion. Anyways, look how sweet those are, huh? Woo! Man. Hey Rick, get me a light and a battery so I can show these people how good these look. Anyways, so now that we got it back out on the ground, we figured we'd probably have to do an alignment, and that's what Eric's working on right now. They're, let's see, let's get that steering wheel straight. Towed out a little bit compared to when we first started. Thank you. So anyways, that's what they look like. 2-inch forward. We got plenty of clearance, even though these are 30s. When I go to do 32 all-terrains on here, we'll have enough room. And yeah, pretty pumped about that. But look at this thing. Got the 30-inch SS360s on here. Plenty of room there. Not gonna rub on the sway bar like Rick thought I would. So he owes me $1,000. And yeah, ready to go rip this thing. Glamis is gonna be fun. And then we're gonna take these same tires, because SS stands for sand and snow. And we're gonna take this thing in the snow soon. So that's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to show you guys that.